we're going to talk. I mean, there's action in Connecticut. We got to talk about the action in
What happened at the
Connecticut.
Capitol today?
I was not there, but I had reports that quite a few people were there.
I was there briefly myself.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Really briefly, though. I'll tell you the story live.
Okay. That's a good place to start then.
Okay.
Tell me the story.
We are here live, of course, with Yankee T and Common Sense News Entertainment. Jason Douglas and Court Rodnowski. We're going to go live on Facebook real quick, too.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And loading. Loading. 3, 2, 1, and okay. Welcome to Facebook Live with Court Rodnowski and Jason Douglas here tonight in the joint venture between Yankee T News and Common Sense News and Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we're going to talk first and foremost about what happened at the state capitol today here in Connecticut.
Yes.
As we talked about just yesterday, and for those of you who aren't aware, a lot of draconian bills are set to be passed at the legislative office today. And as you're aware, quite a large protest or gathering of people. Today was the opportunity for the public to testify
Mm-hmm.
in the legislative office building, which is right next to the state capitol in Hartford. And my understanding is there were a lot of people there. Now, I myself could not make it really there to attend because I had to work. I had too much work to do, too much investigative work to do. However, my work did bring me into Hartford today. So, well, I'll tell you what. James Mayer was one of the guys who was one of the leaders in this movement. A great guy, big fighter. He was part of this, organizing it and being part of bringing people there. And he and I were talking. I told him how disappointed I was that I wasn't going to be able to be there. But I have a guy named, his name is Anthony Gonzalez. And I'll tell you the quick story. He's a young kid. He's a Hartford kid. Doesn't even have a car, really. Wet behind the ears, but eager to help. And he contacted me on Facebook and wanted to do some camera work. Wanted to know if I need help with camera work with my network. And I was going to meet up with him at one of my jobs and have video something to kind of see what he could do. But he didn't show up. We wussed out. It's too cold, he said. Come on, it was 40 degrees.
Cold?
Yeah, he said it was too cold. And it was 40 degrees that day. So anyway, I was like, forget this guy, whatever. But anyway, I ended up meeting him for coffee a week later, and we talked, and he seems a little naive, but definitely enthusiastic. And he showed up this time, and I gave him a hard time about the too cold thing. He said he wasn't feeling well; it was too cold. I'll throw it in there. He had what I call a case of ridiculitis.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's common disease.
Common disease, yes.
Man,
at any rate, this morning,
the Democrats,
even though he's a little wet behind the ears and naive or whatever, he seems eager somehow. Wants to. He witnessed apparently he witnessed an incident in Hartford not too long ago where there was a shooting that the news came and covered incorrectly, and he thinks the police were much more at fault than they were in this incident. He wanted to videotape it, and this is what inspired him to want to get involved in video journalism. So, anyway, I thought of him this morning, and I said, you know what? Why not just? So I gave him a call at 7:30 this morning. I woke his ass up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I said, Anthony, I said, I'll pay you $40. Go to the state capitol. Turn on your camera. I hooked him up with James Mayer. Figured out where he was going to be. I said, go find this guy. And since I can't be there to do it because I want to film as much as I can, why not just try a little bit of the power of delegation and just throw it at his lap, throw him $40, see what he can do. The worst I can, even if he does a lousy job, at least it's better than nothing, than nobody being there. So can't really lose. So we sent him down there, and he actually got up and got himself down there to his credit. And apparently, my feedback I'm getting is he didn't know. Apparently, he didn't know what GPS meant. I'm not sure if I believe that or not, but that's what I heard. And he's a little off there and didn't do great, but he was enthusiastic and active professional and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where we're going to give him a little bit of a learning curve. And I introduced him on Facebook Live earlier today, too. Actually, those of you who are watching me saw him. There he is right there. He's watching us right now. Anthony Gonzalez, baby. Good job today, my friend. You got a lot to learn. You're young. You got a lot to learn. I guess don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. You got a lot to learn, kid. But send me the videos you got, and I think that you got a chance. You're into it. You showed up, and you earned your keep. You earned your money. And for someone who's never done it before, we'll have to take a look at the video before we can really make a judgment. But for the most part, you showed up and you covered it for whatever you did. So for that, we thank you. and he's saying what's up right now. See, now I got someone radioing it, just
All
like
right,
you have
well,
Eric and
tell
you
him.
guys over there. I got Anthony here.
Okay,
So,
we need to tell
Anthony's
him
got
that he's
warning
what's
curve.
up right now.
I'll say that.
He's what's up right now.
He is what's up. You're what's up right now, Anthony. So good job today, my friend. Good job. Showing up is half the battle, and you did. You showed up, and you don't have any training in this area, and I think you enjoyed it. Your eyes were all bright up. You seemed pretty happy, and you met some new people. James, again, for the most part, considering it was the first time he ever did it, not bad at all, kid. So stay in touch. We might have you as a part. If you're part of the ground floor of Common Sense News and Entertainment, it'd be very big for you. So hang in there, and we're gonna give you another shot at it.
Right. Okay.
But at any rate, as far as the rally itself was concerned, he could probably tell you more than I could. We're going to show some videos later, from clips from videos from what he did. But I understand that was a really large turnout, a lot larger than the Tea Party turnouts from 2008, 2009, 2010, I think, even.
Well, okay. Well, I think part of it is that conservatives have become much better organized in the last couple of years, especially around legislative issues. They've developed a real communication. We have developed a real communication network, and we're able to alert each other more frequently on a broad basis than we have in the past. Yeah. So I would say that's definitely a contributing factor. All of that said, what a surprise. The Democrats couldn't handle it. So you know what they did?
No, what did they do?
Limited testimony. They said, we're only going to listen to X amount of people, not Y amount of people.
Oh, boy.
So they cut down the number of people they're going to listen to. Next thing you know, they'll cut down the amount of time each person has to speak. So this just, I think you get the idea. The Democrats are looking for any way they can.
There's a lot of people there that wanted to speak, so a lot of people must not have gotten to speak.
Yeah, well, this is not the only way to communicate with them, and this touches on something I hope you and I can brainstorm on, which is all the different ways there are to put pressure on them. All right, we know about telephones, we know about emails. You can write letters. All right, some people bold enough will have direct encounters. Dare I say, dox the legislature.
Direct live video encounters is the best way.
Yeah,
it is. It's also the most difficult and the most, dare I say, risky. I don't want to necessarily, but risky.
All right, but if one was to follow that, right, this means camping out in the atrium there in the legislative building, and you got to know who you're looking for.
Yeah. And therefore, that's what we want to do. We need reporters to spend a lot of time and not get paid a lot of money, actually, at first. So this is about saving Connecticut. Eventually, you will make money, but if you have video that people want to see, it's worth money in this world. But if you're doing this for the money, honestly, okay, we still want you, but we want people, but we want people that have this at heart too, and really want to help freedom ring. Let freedom ring. Is it let freedom reign or let freedom ring?
Ring.
Okay. Either one works for me, but ring. I thought it was ring.
Yeah, no. It's ring. Liberty Bell.
Sweet land of liberty. And that's what we're doing in the war against Iran, by the way. We're fighting for liberty, just in case people didn't get that. Every bit among the theme of what we stand for as a nation, freeing the people of it's freeing our people from the burden of the Irani mullah and their threats, and freeing the people at the same time of Iran from their oppressive government.
All right, well, I'll read one headline. Some people may have seen it. Unconfirmed report. The new Ayatollah is in a coma inside in a hospital, ICU.
Did he just eat did you see the bad eggs, or did somebody hit him with a bomb?
I think he was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's great.
And they say he has not been conscious for 12 days.
So I heard we were talking the other day about the 32,000 people that were shot when they protested before, and where are they now? They're dead. But what about the rest of them that didn't get shot? Well, I heard some reports the other day that back in last fall, when these protests happened, there were actually millions of Iranians that came out into the streets around the country at that time. That 32,000 or more ended up getting murdered, but it was millions around the country, though.
There was a point.
If that's the case, then as soon as they get the all clear, they can come on out. when it's sufficient, we've bombed their security forces sufficiently enough so that they can't come out and shoot them at the massive numbers they did before.
Well,
that's a really key turning point in this truncated war.
Yeah. So it's a funny, since you brought this point up, it's going to be putting the Iranian government, the mullahs, in a very tough position. Mm-hmm. Put simply, they may be looking at people in the street, but they know they cannot trust everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to worry about whether or not there are groups that will attack them.
That's why I think that, CIA, special forces, whatever, mm-hmm. just help from local Iranian freedom-loving people to create chaos for them, to create confusion and chaos for the mullah.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, there was that piece. I don't think I have it here, where Israel put out the word that the Iranian people's time of destiny is at hand. In other words, get ready to move and move quickly, is what they're suggesting. But what I don't understand when I hear people say these things,
I'd wait till I think there should be a point where the military feels like it's done enough damage from the sky, where there's could be like a momentary lapse of bombing, so they can come out. I don't want to see them come out and get hit with bombs, I guess.
Yeah, what I was going to say is I don't understand how it is that let's see, today is Wednesday. We were told that Saturday would be the biggest bombing ever. Then I think they said Monday would be the biggest bombing ever. And then Tuesday would be the biggest bombing ever.
Yeah, increase each day. I think they're doing that, from my understanding. The number was 2,000 sites last weekend, at the beginning of the weekend, and then it went quickly up to 5,000. So it was 2,000 in about 8 days, and then another 3,000 within 3 more days.
Mm-hmm.
As of yesterday, over 5. So that's a pretty big increase in targets.
Right. So, they talk about how they're running out of targets to bomb, but I'm having a problem. If you remember, I was all worked up last night talking about all these little boats they have, all the little attack.
I know, you and your little boats. Okay. I'm not so worried about them like you are.
Well, what we saw, it occurred to me afterwards when I saw some of this footage. Well, sure, the Americans could be unleashing a lot of drones to attack these boats.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the Iranians would not be the first one to put out decoys.
Yeah, they also have 84%, my understanding of their drone capacity is also, Iranian drone capacity has been reduced as well.
All right. Well, okay, that may be so. But the point is, these motorboats present a significant threat.
How?
There's
a lot of them.
They have. That's the whole concept.
What's the worst weapon? Are these regular size speedboats you're talking about?
Yes, regular size speedboats.
18 footers.
30. No, like 30, 35 feet, maybe a little smaller.
Okay, what's the best kind of? You can't really put missile launchers on one of those boats.
Sure, you can.
Maybe one of those shoulder ones, right?
You can put all. They've got. I'm pretty sure they got 50 caliber guns on there. They've got missiles. Okay, and the other part that's not talked about is that they are perfectly capable of laying mines as well. Okay. So they have the ability to make life very difficult if they choose to. All right.
I don't agree. I think their hands are back against the wall. I think they're running around like scared church mice over there right now. They may have a bunch of little boats left over. They may have a few,
a bunch
left in there, a few punches left in their arsenal. But to consider them a real threat to us, what they have left to be a threat in any way to our objective.
All right. Well, you've thrown down.
Maybe be able to prolong it a little longer if you'd like, perhaps. But
all right. So you've thrown down your gauntlet there, Mr. Douglas.
Yes, sir.
What is the standard that you're going to apply by which you're going to say, "Oops, I guess I was wrong"?
Okay.
I'm asking you. What is the
first time I hear that?
You said there's nothing to worry about.
As soon as I hear about any numbers going the other way, oh, we just lost 50 soldiers, or we're losing more soldiers now, and And Iran seems to be there, or I see a change in the numbers. Like there's more missile launches are now coming from here, or I see some kind of reversal in the trend. Then I will say,
Okay.
Until then, I will not.
All right. So what's the trend right now in the Persian Gulf?
And are you talking about the Strait of Hormuz particularly, or just the Gulf
sure.
as it stands?
I
know there's, as far as I was told that over 50 Iranian major naval ships have been sunk. 50.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how many American vessels have sunk that I heard of? I think it's zero.
Okay.
50 to 0. Now I know there's a lot of smaller boats, and I know that I believe my understanding is travel through the Hormuz Strait as we see it right now is not as good as we would like it to be, because I know we're offering insurance, but some people are just afraid to go through there right now. So it's a little bit of an issue. Okay. But again, I would remind you, we're at war. So when you're at war, you have issues. And this is our biggest issue. If this is our biggest issue right now, we're working on cleaning it up. It might take a week or two for us to clean it up. But I believe wholeheartedly we will be hearing in the next few days, probably, or a week or so, that things are clearing up in the Strait of Hormuz. And my understanding there are boats going through it right now as well. It's not completely blockaded.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Okay. So again, we're at war. So when you have a war, there's an opponent that is going to have. Right now, I see like somebody, and if you were to equate this to a boxing ring, I think the other boxer's kind of on his knees right now, kind of going like this. And we're like, I don't see any kind of threat whatsoever. Only threats that people talk about. I haven't seen an actual threat. Unless and if there is one, what are they waiting for to launch this threat? Are they waiting until we think it's over? Maybe. I think they might. You know what they might pull? One thing I would worry about.
Yeah.
Is what happened in Iraq is there will be eventually this surrender or this absence, and maybe we'll come in and start. The different Arab countries or whatever coalition will come in. We'll think the war is over, okay? And there'll be this. Let's form this new government. Everything's so fine, and that's when IEDs start going off in Tehran, and soldiers start. This insurrection within Iran starts developing, and it becomes a hassle as we're trying to create peace. And so even though the mullah is gone, their aftermath is still within the country and creating a lot of havoc in our attempts to create a new, friendlier country. So I can see that being an issue after the war itself is over.
No, it doesn't have to be after it's over. I'd say taking the current situation in Straits of Hormuz, and for all intents and purposes, nothing seems to be happening. No conflicts, no attacks, no bombs, no drones. It's quiet.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden it changes.
Are you
That's what we're talking about.
Is that what you think that could happen? You mean like all of a sudden?
Absolutely. I'm expecting it.
So you're accepting that Iran is going to make some kind of a move in the Gulf that's going to change it. Right. I guess what you're doing is you're saying that Iran is not done. They have something under their sleeve that's going to give us a couple pretty big punches before this is over. That at the end, is this what you're predicting? At the end, we'll probably win, but it's going to be a big mess more than people are thinking it's going to be.
Well, again, previously I used the image of an endgame strategy in a game of chess, right? And you try to take down as many of your opponent's pieces as you can before you are checkmated. And I think we're in a similar position. They're going to try and take down as many American assets as they can before they can't fight anymore.
12% that they got left, go for it, man. Go for it.
Right. Well, I mean, the part that would make me also force me to modify my position would be as if they don't come up with surprises. I'm fully expecting surprises.
Okay, we're into week 3 now. Where's the surprise?
Well, the first surprise is going to be the sheer number of missiles that are launched from the coastline of Iran into the Persian Gulf, especially the Straits of Hormuz. All right. Now, conversely,
you're saying Iran has a large stockpile of missiles still they plan on launching on the coast?
Correct.
Okay, I think maybe. I mean, I don't. Is there evidence of that? Or you just predicting? You're just thinking that?
Evidence.
Okay.
What we know, if you want evidence, is that there was a period of time where Iran was firing hundreds and hundreds of missiles at a time, and they were convinced to stop. That was back in June. So what do you think?
That was June.
Time enough to build more missiles?
Sure, but we've been bombing the snot out of them for 3 weeks now. So I think a lot of those missiles have been. We're claiming that 84% of their missiles have been destroyed.
Okay, you're assuming our missiles are hitting the targets.
We're saying that they're saying that their missiles are hitting the targets. So unless CENTCOM is lying to us,
and I'm saying again, you can. God, we go back to the issue of intelligence on the ground, and you have people who can pretend to cooperate with CIA and Mossad and give misleading information.
You know what I think? You know what I think?
What?
I think you're spending too much time down in the southwest part of the state with all the people down there that want to look for something wrong with Donald Trump. I think that you just spend too much time down there with all those people.
Not at all.
Sure.
I want us to win. I want Donald.
I know you want us to win. I'm not saying you don't want us to win. I just think that there's a lot of pessimism.
Because there are certain things that I expect to hear, which I have not been hearing. And if anything, what I'm seeing is the issues that I'm raising on a Monday finally begin to get some audience by Wednesday or Thursday. Okay? So in my mind, why is it taking the Wednesday or Thursday? This is something that should have been dealt with a while ago because we know how dastardly the Iranians are. We know that they can do nasty, secretive things if they so choose. Okay?
They could. I'm not sure what the capacity to do that any longer is, though.
Okay. You're thinking in terms of a set of weapons or weapon systems. All right? Sure. I'm not. Okay. I'm thinking outside of that set. That there are other weapons that they can use, other things that they are capable of producing.
Sleeper cells in the United States worry me.
What?
Sleeper cells here in the United States, that worries me.
Nah.
Well,
those hot Latin babes got them, baby.
Okay, then what specifically worries you then? You think are you saying they have more missiles than meets the eye?
Yes, that's number one. That's number one. Number two is that they're spread all around the country in more places than we know. That's the second thing. Okay.
More than the 5,000 places we've already targeted?
Probably not more than 5,000, but the idea that we found them all, no.
No, I know we haven't found them all. We're not saying that we have found them all.
What is the surprise here if we haven't found them all?
So what you're saying is when we say we found 84 or 90% of them, that you think that's not true? Or the last 10% is a lot more than we think.
Okay. Having done estimates like these before, where I'm dealing with a lot of uncertainty, I understand the problems with coming up with a number that you feel comfortable with. Okay. Because you got too many unknowns, too many variables, too many things that could be totally unlike what you believe or assume. And you could find yourself in a very embarrassing situation.
Okay.
So I'm suggesting, guilty. Okay, one of my reports a long time ago was on the subject of biosensors. I made the most wild-ass market projections for biosensors. Boy, was I off. Man, oh man. So
sure, I like being wrong.
Yeah, I like being wrong. So it's just an example of having to recognize, eat humble pie when you realize that you have goofed up. And I think we're confronted with a similar problem because their unknowns, what they know may be pretty good, but they also know what they don't know. All right. However, they don't know how big those things are that they don't know. So they have to make guesses, good, informed, educated guesses. And that's all. That's the only position I'm arguing from. Somebody could ridicule my position if they wanted to. Feel free. But the issue here is that the United States is stepping into a country in which it has had no physical presence of its own for 50, 60 years. Okay? We've been able to admire Iran from afar. We've had a few spies here and there, okay? But our understanding, our physical understanding of the country and how that would inform a military strategy, just it's not there. That's my argument. It's just
Well,
not.
we do have this thing called the Arab Accords, and we have allies in the Middle East. I think they're going to participate. That do have a much better understanding of Iran than we do. That I think they're going to be part of this. I don't think it's just going to be a sole United States endeavor, and I don't even think we're going to be the primary. I think Trump wants a say in it, but I don't think we want a say in it. We want to make sure. All we want to do is to make sure that whatever government takes over there, and we don't really care what it is, as long as it's not chanting death to America and it wants to trade and like other nations, be part of a peaceful world, and that's really what this is about. And we don't really need to learn every little thing about Iran to do that. We to take part in that. I don't think we're looking to become ourselves going into this country as sole rebuilders or regime changers or nation builders. We made it pretty clear that we don't want to do that. And I think if we were trying to do something like that, we'd be running into many of the problems that you're describing. But I think that this is an international effort in the end.
Well, I'll put it a little bit differently. It was in the case of George W. Bush when he was running for the presidency in 1999. He made a campaign promise that he was not going to engage in nation building. Then along came 9/11. How did that work out?
Well, we should have a whole show about 9/11 one of these days.
Okay.
Because 9/11 was really the beginning of the end. To me, 9/11 was the end of the golden age, original golden age of America. Ended that day. We never recovered from that day completely. And what happened? I think there's obviously a lot of debate and conspiracy theories about really what went on that day.
Yes.
People have asked me if I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I say what J.D. Vance says, only if it's true. And there are some weird things that went on behind 9/11, and I happen to believe now it was no longer what they say it was on the news.
Okay.
Evidence to lead other directions, but that's a long conversation for another day.
Yes, so we will treat it as that for another day. Okay, the Iranians that remain are not without their chops. So what else did we hear in the news?
What did we hear?
Iran threatening to send a drone to Los Angeles.
Oh, really? That's today, huh?
Now, whether they're going to do it or not is a whole.
Well, Iran has also threatened to kill President Trump, destroy the United States and the Western world. Iran makes a lot of threats.
Yeah, and well, they're being very. Okay, in this case, though, whatever is left of their terrorist cells, this is plausible.
Sure.
Okay, so
since we're at war, it is possible we could take a couple more hits before this is over.
Right.
And it's sad but true, and that doesn't change the resolve. You know, nobody's, even though you and I are coming from different points of view, we're playing devil's advocate with one another a little bit too. And I think that you and I both agree that we need to win this war. We can't back off at this point.
No.
It'd be the worst thing we could do. And whether you want to argue whether we should have done it at this time or not, I think this is the perfect time to do it. And now it had to be done after 47 years. We can't just continue to let any nation in this world threaten us and kill our soldiers and terrorize our people left and right and just keep doing that. I'm surprised that it's gone on for this long. We should have, in my opinion, we should have taken care of this back in the 80s. We should have got, after the Shah was overrun and we had all those hostages, 151 American hostages, I believe it was. We should have had a little international coalition right then, you know, to come together and put a stop to this. So the idea that now is not the good time, there's no good time for a war, but sometimes there's a necessary time. And Trump's the first one to have the chutzpah to do it. So I'm 100% behind it. And as long as it takes, really. But I do understand the public is impatient. And if it goes on longer than it should, it's people are going to turn against it, even on the MAGA side, which I find disappointing, but reality. We can't back down at this point. If Iran does have a couple of more aces up its sleeves, shall we say, throw at us. I don't know what they're waiting for. They must be, if there are sites in Iran that can hurt us that we're not aware of, I would think they'd at least be nervous about those getting hit at this point. right?
Well,
So
I'll tell you,
it's time to start acting. So if they're going to pull through one of these threats, like killing the Israeli port, or one of these things that they're going to do, they better do it now because there's not much time left for them.
Okay. Well, first, let me address this. What are they waiting for, you ask?
Yeah, what are they waiting for?
They are waiting for American troops to show up on Iranian soil. That is what they're waiting for.
What if we don't even do that? What if we don't need to do that? Well, okay, American troops or an international coalition?
American. The talk has been about American troops being put on.
Where? MSNBC?
What?
Where's the talk about American troops on the ground? NBC?
You see, online,
CBS?
Online groups. That's not NBC or CBS.
Well, everybody speculates on that possibility. I don't believe the president, although he says he won't take anything off the table, I don't believe it's, I'm not in the Oval Office, but I don't think that's something that is necessary, a given that we're going to go there. We need to go there.
Let's see. We are down to, what's this?
And I'm not talking about special ops, by the way.
Well, like I said, next Wednesday. I'll have to reconsider my claims by next Wednesday.
Okay. What's the big event next Wednesday other than St. Patrick's Day?
No, by next Wednesday that we'll have American troops on the ground in Iran. I said March 15th. That was my prediction.
On the Ides of March, kill Caesar and bring troops into Iran. I don't think it'll happen. I predict that we will not see American. No, I'm not talking about like small special ops, things like that. Along with international, you may see some international troops in Tehran eventually. I don't think it's necessary for purely American ground troops, regular infantry, to go into Iran. And I think it's bad optics. And I don't think I'm not a military expert. It doesn't sound like a great strategy to me.
Okay, well,
it's a terrible place to try to invade. The terrain is terrible.
Let's go back to that other announcement. We talked about it briefly during the negotiations with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Do you remember one of the more interesting claims that the mullahs made?
What did they say?
We have enough material to make 11 bombs.
Right.
Okay, why is that not important?
It's important because it gave what we believe is justification to go in when we did. That's what they're using as part of justification.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing to use it for a justification, but it's another thing to deal with it. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about a raid on whatever facility, Natanz or whatever it is, the purified uranium.
So you think we might use ground troops just to get that one specific site to secure the nuclear site and make sure there's nothing going on there?
Right. Well,
I can see an international. What about an international coalition doing that?
IAEA.
Yeah, I mean the Arab Spring. My understanding is these rest of the Middle East countries are pretty upset with Iran now since they're bombing the hell out of everybody, and they're now willing to help. Maybe we could get a little bit of a Middle Eastern, international, European kind of coalition to go in there and do these things. It would make a lot more sense. I don't think Trump wants to send pure American ground troops into Iran. I don't. Maybe special ops, a little bit of special ops to accompany. But
you're approaching this from a very funny point of view. Well, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
No, I'm not saying don't bring troops in, but I think an international coalition of troops would be better. Too bad the United Nations is so corrupt. That would be what we would use, but unfortunately, that place is like the Star Wars bar scene up there. You think I'm being too optimistic?
When was the last time you broke into a bar?
A bar or a barn?
A bar.
A bar. I don't really drink, so I've never broken into a bar. I broke into a high school once.
All right. Well, I think you can understand that you can have all sorts of rowdy types gathered together in that one bar, creating trouble.
Sure.
Right. So there's an expectation you have to do something about it. Can't do it by dropping. Well, maybe, but no. We're finding out that dropping bombs is not enough. It's not enough.
We have intel though down the ground. It's not like we don't have intel. Intel is what we need.
And lots of it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of it. Intel we're not used to having. So
I think that kind of provides some of the answers.
What does it feel like?
I think in the end of the day, I think the plan would be if I was Joint Chiefs of Staff right now, get the missile trickles down to 1% where there's really nothing, and then what you do is you get the people of Iran, you get people on the ground to help the people of Iran rise up, and that's when you get to the point where you're at the end of the war, really at the very end or at the end of the war. That's when you bring in your peacekeeping troops, international peacekeeping troops, to make sure the nuclear materials have been either destroyed or secured, and to provide security for this new forming Iranian government that they can form themselves.
When you are confident that their assets have been degraded sufficiently, that is exactly what you should do next.
Correct. I think we can get there.
Not so confident.
Okay. We'll find out over the next, 10, 15 days or so, I would think, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Iran is only so big. There's only so much you can bomb there before it gets to the point where you're in the Stone Age over there. What is Iran? It's smaller than Texas, right? Can you look up the square footage of Iran versus the square miles of Iran versus the square miles?
How about the population?
I want to know the area. You can get it. I know you're right now.
What about you cannot ignore the population?
I'm not ignoring it. But you cannot ignore the geographics either.
Let's see here. Size.
My guess is I'm just looking in my head at the map, and I think it's probably about 75% of the size of Texas. Maybe it's bigger than Texas. Is right. I think I'm going to compare it to Texas.
All right, so it's 626,000 square miles.
Iran is.
Yeah, 17th largest in the world.
All right, and how big is Texas? Oh, she's looking up Texas. How many square miles is Texas? 268. Oh, it's a lot bigger than Texas. Wow. So it's more like the size of Alaska then.
Okay. But
it's a big area.
I have to remind you that despite the desolate appearance of Iran, they have 90 million people.
Okay.
That'd
be as if Alaska was populated like California almost.
There's nothing to compare.
There's got to be a lot of. So my understanding though, there was a lot of very mountainous, uninhabitable areas in Iran, which means that the 90 million people are crowded pretty close together in the areas of Iran that are more inhabitable. Alaska's like Alaska, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Population density. Give me a number. What? 56 people per square kilometer.
That's not very dense, but that's because of all the uninhabitable land they have there.
All right.
If you were to take out the uninhabitable mountain areas, which are, I think, mostly in the Northwest, but I'm not entirely sure.
What do you end up with then? You know, is this peculiar situation?
I think that, I'm only guessing. I think that the central and southern, eastern areas of Iran are the most populated, where all the people are, and Tehran being the northwest part of that. And then the entire western half of Iran is mostly mountains and uninhabitable land, much more sparsely populated, except when you get down to where the Gulf Coast is, of course, where it again becomes populated in the southwest.
All right. For any invading force, the prospect of having to conquer somebody who's up in some mountains is daunting at best.
You're assuming that we're going to have to go in and conquer Iran, though. I don't think we're going to have to do that. I think the people will take care of it. And that's going to be that's part of our strategy. I don't think, obviously we have a plan B and a plan C that probably involves invading Iran with troops. I don't think I think that's not plan A, though. I don't think that's the plan A.
Yeah. All right. You're right. I am looking at this
That's a
and
bad day.
asking the question, if you have a group of people who are determined, and I mean determined, to stay in power, then how are you going to remove them if they refuse to surrender, if they get aid and comfort from a significant portion of their population, and they're hiding out in the mountains of Iran? How are you going to get them?
Well, so far, apparently, we've already blown up the leader and the leader's son. So they're not doing too well in that process so far. And if they're going to go hide in the mountains, they can go do that, and we'll just take over the part of Iran that's important with good people. And then that's where my prediction, my worry comes in. The war is over. We have something going in the populated parts of Iran, and now all of a sudden we have these insurrectionists and these loyalists to the old regime coming down and blowing up restaurants, blowing up these whatever rebuilding we're trying to do, whatever infrastructure we're trying to help with.
This is what I have been talking about for the last week.
Yeah, but this would be after this war is over, though. It would be more like it would become an internal struggle in Iran.
But over. It's never over if they're attacking you.
Well, and I'm talking about attacking whatever they're trying to rebuild in Iran, though. Not, it would become something where we will have reduced the old mullah and their sympathizers to trying to retake their own country. Now they're worried about trying to retake their own country, not destroying the Western world anymore, because now they're hiding in the damn mountains. That's a better situation than what we have now. It doesn't solve all our problems. It doesn't solve the problems for the people of Iran, who now have seized control, theoretically, of their country back, and are dealing with these mullahs and their sympathizers up in the mountains. Their sympathizers that are, committing essentially terrorist attacks against this new Iranian government. You see, and now it's an internal struggle in Iran, which takes the threat away from us. We're helping. We have international troops. We're trying to help with this, of course, and I'm sure we're trying to influence it. But this is a prediction that's coming out in my head, and it's based on what you're telling me that how are we gonna get rid of these? And you're right. That won't be easy. That won't be easy at all. So the idea that we're gonna have this wonderful, friendly new country called Persia with casinos and everything by next summer is ridiculous. It's not gonna happen like that. It might happen in 5 years like that. But it's going to take time. And I think we'll get there. I really do. But as far as the war is concerned, like what we're talking about, Operation Epic, whatever it is, like that's going to be over in a week or two. Epic Fury. That's going to be over in a couple of weeks. 2-3 weeks. He said 4 to 5 weeks. It's been 2-3.
I mean, no. What's going to happen is when we put American boots on the ground, it's suddenly going to become a case of getting mired down.
That's if we put American boots on the ground. If we do that,
for what it's worth, I told you about that video clip of the guy who has friends that are in active duty.
I know.
Okay, so I'm inclined to take those things at face value.
They're being told to be prepared. They haven't been given the go order yet. Just been told to be prepared, right?
All right, now. Quds Day March banned in London over legitimate fears of Muslim terrorism. So it's a pro-Mullah march that some Islamists wanted to do in London, and it got banned.
Oh, wow. Really? Got banned, huh?
Yeah, banned.
Okay. Well, maybe they're starting to wake up in England, maybe? Because I know that the English have let their country be completely run over by Islamic.
Yeah, well, I would say, they're quickly finding out. Wait, now what's this here? Let me just see. The title is Pahlavi tells Iranians to await final call, says time is running out for security forces. But the fair question is anybody listening to them?
Well, I heard that lately they've been targeting all the places that they believe that Iranian security forces have been housed and used to shoot down and suppress protesters. So that's been one of the focuses lately. Taking them out. So once the coast is clear for that, it really kind of opens the door for the Iranian people just kind of march in, and presumably whatever the palace in Tehran is, where their leader is, they'll have to leave. I mean, kick them out of there. I mean,
I'm thinking more in terms of an orderly, I'm going to say it, orderly takeover of the key institutions of the government of Iran.
Correct.
Takeover of the key institutions. All right.
Mhm.
And until that happens, nothing's happening.
I think you're going to see that happen over the next, I don't know, few weeks. But again, that doesn't mean the problem will be over. I get that.
Mhm.
But I
Thank you.
think that I think you'll see that the rest of control over the nation of Iran will change hands more sooner than one thinks.
All right. Now, for what it's worth, so here's this. I don't know. All right. U.S. has now destroyed 16 IRGC mine laying ships.
See, that doesn't tell me anything unless they know how many they have. Do they have 1,000 or they have 25? If they have 25, that's we're on our way. But if they have 5,000, well. So I wonder. I don't know what the size of Iran's navy is. I don't think any of us really know. I certainly don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it as being
Yeah,
all that
this
large.
is so stupid the way this is organized. All right. Please give me a straight answer here. Can't seem to give me a straight answer. Screw you. Well, all we can say is that the that capability, yes, it's being degraded, yes.
Yeah, I think that, and so far, unless there's a lot of information that's being hidden from us, everything seems to be going our way. And I just think that a little time and patience.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah.
is another problem since you.
Another problem is the gas
mentioned
prices.
going our way.
I know that the prices of oil per barrel were at
Okay.
$70 a barrel, and then they went up to close to 100, and then back down to 80 again. And yet
Right.
the price of gas in Connecticut spiked from 279, 289 to 350, 340, and they're just leaving it right up there. So there's some serious gasoline price gouging going on in Connecticut right now. I can tell you that.
Right.
Serious.
So Iranian strike on U.S. base in Kuwait far worse than originally reported. Burns, traumatic brain injuries, and amputations.
I heard that. I heard there was a lot of people injured in that.
Okay. So you've got them laying mines. They've attacked this base in Kuwait as well as other places.
These are things that they've been doing to us for 47 years in peacetime.
Yes.
So it's only natural they're going to do these things to us while we're attacking them.
All right. If I may make
it's terrible, but it's war.
Make a silly statement. The silly statement is, if we haven't attacked them and they've been doing this, we have attacked them and they're still doing it, how effective are our attacks? Not very.
After 3 weeks, Court, 3 weeks, please. Yeah. World War II was 4 years long.
3 weeks of what?
3 weeks.
Then
all in 3 weeks.
Hey, and what are they doing? They're boasting. They're pounding their chest, saying, "Look at us."
What else are they going to do? They're not going to say, "I surrender." What are you? They've been saying, boasting, and pounding their cheeks for 40 years. Did you expect anything different?
What I expect.
It's been not
even 3
weeks.
Balanced presentation here that recognizes that not everything we're doing is working, and that the Iranians still have some ability to attack back. Doesn't make me any less supportive. Just be honest about it.
Okay, let's be honest about it. After less than 3 weeks, a major Arabian power that we've attacked and are trying to take down is still firing some bullets at us. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be shocked if there wasn't anything going on. If there was complete silence out of Iran right now, absolutely nothing coming out of them, then I'd be even more surprised.
Okay.
I'd be saying, "Wow, we took down their entire empire. They have nothing left in less than 3 weeks. I can't even believe it." So the fact that they managed to blow up one of our embassies, that they've inflicted some damage, that they're still firing some bullets at us after 3 weeks. Does that come? I mean, sure, it's bad, but I don't see it as any kind of a wavering in our. I don't think there's anyone. Hopefully, anyone in our military saying that somehow our military strategy is not working, because they're still throwing some bullets back at us after only 3 weeks.
Right. I think the other problem here is the strategy and the messaging are not on the same page.
Okay, how so? I think every day they go on and do a press conference and talk about all the specifics that they're doing as much as they can. That's unclassified.
Okay.
In what way is it conflicting with what? Okay, maybe because did you think that the bombing in Kuwait was underreported?
And there are other examples like that.
Okay.
All right. Now, I'm not going to try to put a number to it, but the Iranians have been doing some damage. And you have to understand how weird this is when you have a President Trump saying we're running out of targets, yet they're still landing punches.
Well, Trump tends to be a little
haven't run out of targets. Sorry, haven't run out of targets.
Okay, first of all, when you're fighting a war, you're supposed to put out good propaganda for your side. So the fact that we're out touting all of our advantages, and then we're not talking a lot about some of the bad things, doesn't surprise me either. To me, we know that the mainstream media is not on our side. So if this thing in Kuwait, we'll use the thing in Kuwait as an example.
Okay.
If did we not report the casualties correctly initially, or was it that the casualties grew over time?
Understand.
And why didn't I'm sure NBC and 60 Minutes and CBS would be the first one to pounce all over something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure that they're the ones that wanted to report any setbacks that we, the allies, face, or any of our casualties, because that's going to help their anti-Trump cause.
They're perfectly happy to keep their information to themselves and leave us in the dark and create a fog of propaganda around it. Now, you can see some of these people taking the same attitude as Churchill when he said, sometimes the truth is so important, it must be surrounded by a bodyguard of lies.
Well, it's common knowledge that when you're fighting a war, that the things that go wrong in the war, you tend not to want the public to know about as much as the things that go right. And that is normal. Doesn't mean it's always right, but it's normal.
Yeah, well, what ends up happening is they end up gaslighting us.
But no matter what is going on here, at the end of the day, it's Davy against Goliath. Iran will not win this war. They're going to lose. We're going to have a new Iran. It might take whatever it takes. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It won't be pretty. There's going to be terrorist attacks. The idea that the fall of Iran into friendlier hands is going to mean there'll never be any more terrorist attacks in the world is silly, because the world isn't that great of a place. There's always going to be hate. There's always going to be terror. There's always going to be problems. But Iran, for 47 years, has been a state sponsor of it. And if we can rid the world of state sponsors of terror, we can eliminate, or not eliminate, but we can greatly reduce their ability to operate and fund themselves and create havoc around the world. So this is not just for the United States; it's for the whole free world. And the alternative is just let them continue. We can't let them continue. It should have happened years ago. And war is hell. There's going to be a lot of American lives lost. We're going to lose buildings. We're going to lose people, and we're going to lose assets. And it probably will drag on. The actual aftermath of this war will drag on for years. I believe the war itself, the epic fury, will be over in the next few weeks.
Okay.
But the aftermath will continue. That I don't doubt.
So
it'll be better than what we had before with a state sponsor of terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to eliminate, like I said before, and I'll say again, in the age of the internet, in the age of Space Force, the world is a very small place. We can all talk to each other at any time, at any moment, and there's simply, in the long run, no room for tin pan dictators threatening people around the world. They got to go. They're out. We're going to have a free world, or we're not going to have one at all, period. We're not going to live under autocratic, socialist, despotic crap. And that goes for you, Vladimir Putin, Xi from China. You'll be the only two left when Trump's done. And Iran is just the next stepping stone. They got to go down, period. They you know what they do to their people. Those 90 million people are talking about live in hell. And they know it. Mm-hmm. And yesterday you brought up that Israel bombed some oil tankers that they shouldn't have bombed.
That's right.
And that we might lose the support of the Iranian people because of it.
Correct.
That'd be like someone burning your house on fire and your house is burning, and a fireman comes in to pull you out of your room and save your life, but in doing so, he knocks over your ancient antique vase worth a lot of money. And you say to the fireman, get the hell out of my house. I'll just stay here and burn after you knocked over my vase. Okay?
It's an interesting analogy. I'm not sure that I agree with it.
Oh, they blew up an oil field because it should have gotten blown up. It doesn't matter. We're trying to free the Iranian people of 47 million years of torture and oppression by their government and replace it with something better. And a few oil fields got in the way. Oops, sorry about that. You know, Iran, you fucked up. You shouldn't have done it. But that doesn't mean all of a sudden now, oh, get out. We're against you now. We're going to go back and side with the mullahs now. And these are people, we are rescuing these people. And they know that. Most of them with their heads screwed on right know it. I can't imagine there's too many rank and file Iranian people that are in favor of the mullahs. There's probably a lot of TDS type of people in Iran that are hypnotized into hating Donald Trump or hating America in particular. I'm sure there are a lot of regular people like that.
Yeah, they're called Democrats.
Until they see the McDonald's in Tehran. Oh, I like it the new Big Arch sandwich. Oh, I like it a Big Arch sandwich. What'll happen was if we can just create a little bit of a toehold of freedom in that country, just for a few months or a year or so, over time, these insurrectionists, these regular guys are going to start to go. What you just said the other day. Oh, this isn't so bad. This new government. Well, I can walk around and say what I want. I can buy all these things.
Same logic that was used by. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Human nature. And that doesn't matter if you're Arab or what you are. Now, I'm not saying hardcore Islamists are going to turn. I'm not saying that. The hardcore people are hardcore people. They're not going to turn. They'll have to be little by little arrested or killed over time. They go away. Or they're always around. There's always crime, you know. Once the troops leave Washington, D.C., there'll be some murders there again. Because that's how it goes. That's what people are. It's sad. And you're always going to have these things in Iran. But what we're going to have at the end of the day when the dust clears, my point is, a lot better than what we had for the last 47 years.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, there was another thing, the SAVE Act.
Oh, the SAVE Act, yes.
All right. The game playing that's going on with the SAVE Act is really getting disgusting. Because you had both Cornyn and Thune refusing to pass the bill. Now, as we had discussed, Trump said to Cornyn, if you pass the bill, I'll endorse your candidacy.
He's still refusing.
So now, well, no, Cornyn says he's going to try and change the filibuster rule, which is a step in the right direction, but then leave it to Thune to screw things up. So he's going to let the debate go ahead. But the problem is, to close the debate on the bill, they'll need 60 votes, which they know they won't get.
So who is paying Thune?
What?
Now, I want to know who Thune is loyal to. Because it's not the people. It's not his voters. Not the Republican Party. He's loyal to someone else. Someone who's given him latitude to behave like a Republican, except when it comes to things that really matter, like cheating on elections to them. Then Thune is told no. So who's telling Thune no? It's not Thune.
Okay.
He's a thug. And when's his next election up?
Thune.
Not yet, I don't think. Not in 28, I don't think.
No, he's not up right now.
No. He's worse than Chris Murphy. You know why? Because at least Chris Murphy has the balls to go out and say what a pig he is. This guy pretends he's one of us.
And he's not.
He's not.
Well, this was the problem back when the election, the big debate over who is going to be the majority leader for the Republicans. You had, I can't remember who the number 3 was. The one who did not do as well was the best choice as far as we were concerned. But Thune and Cornyn were in the running, and Thune won with the understanding that Thune has always hated Trump. So now let me think about this. You're putting a guy who hates Trump in charge of the Senate.
I'm going on TV and say, we want to implement the president's agenda. Why he hates the guy.
Yeah, he's so full of it. But the other point to keep in mind is all this stuff that's going on is built around one realization. We are over the target. Okay, they are acting in such strange and resistant ways. That means this bill is more important than you or I realize. The SAVE Act,
right? Because it's forced thugs like John Thune's hand,
and a lot of other people.
It's forced him to take a stand again. It's basically outed him. And you're right. Whatever's in this bill, and it probably is, the ID is the main thing, and there are probably other provisions in this bill that make it intolerable to the deep state, to the thugs that think they're trying to maintain control of this country over the people and wait out Donald Trump's presidency, and then just wiggle their way back in. And that's what they're doing here. And the SAVE Act might prevent them from doing. The SAVE Act represents a threat to them on the level that they may not be able to bounce back from after Trump is gone, you see.
I wouldn't say maybe. I would say definitely.
Not. They'd have to pass another bill, and they wouldn't be able to do it. They'd have to pass a bill to make elections unfair. No one's going to go for that. So they're stuck with this, and that's why they're drawing the line in the sand. And Trump to say he won't sign another bill until it's passed is a very good move, I think.
Right. Well, if this information is correct, I don't know, some other form of pressure needs to be brought because Thune is doing his best to kill the bill. And we say, no, you must pass it. Doesn't matter that 85.
Is anybody asking Thune is anybody asking Thune? He's saying no. I know he's publicly saying no. What is his reason? Is anybody in the media saying, what is your reason for no? Making him state the reason on the air. Why?
Yeah, well,
Glenn
Beck did this piece where he took the position that for all intents and purposes,
the
Republicans just don't want to do the work. They're lazy.
Well, I think I did hear Thune say that he doesn't think that the voter fraud is very, it's rare, he said.
Yeah,
right?
That another insult to our intelligence. Just it's pretty wacky. Yeah. Anyway, so what do you have to do tomorrow?
What do I have to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
I have a lot to do tomorrow. I have to go during the day, not so bad.
Yeah.
But tomorrow afternoon, I have subpoenas to serve in Hartford, and I have Derby and Sharon, Connecticut. I'll be in tomorrow.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I'll be doing
Sharon.
And Sharon and Derby and Bridgeport. I'll be in all three.
Wow.
And in the Hartford area.
Right.
And I'm tracking down there's a car accident that happened on the highway last year that one side says that there was the street racing going on, the other side says that they were cut off. There was no street racing, they were cut off. So we're gonna go interview some people and find out what really happened. That'll be fun.
So was this one of these things where the kids are out on the streets wilding?
Yep, they're out wild racing, and one of them rear ends innocent passenger driver. And the story between the two drivers is that there's two racing, the one that hit the woman and the one that wasn't involved driving, saying that they were driving normally, and this woman just pulled out from the shoulder and cut them off. And of course, the woman says, "That's not what happened at all. I was driving with the rest of the traffic, and I just got rear-ended." And so there's no video surveillance. So we're gonna have to. The plan is to go to talk to the one that wasn't involved in the accident, and then I'll bluff them out. I'll make them think that we have video. I say, I think I'll say I think we're getting a pretty chance to get video on this one. So you better come clean. See if he comes clean.
All right, yeah,
that's fun stuff. I like it. I love that. That's what I like about my job.
Jeez.
It's the truth, baby. Get to the truth.
Yeah, even if you have to lie a little bit.
You ever heard I think this ad campaign started back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I think it was an anti-smoking ad because there was a big anti-smoking campaign in the 90s. And one of the ads was called Your Truth. And that was the theme of the ad, Your Truth. And it was about, what you're lying to yourself about smoking or whatever it was. But that became a term for Generation Y and Generation Z people that disgusts me, because there's no such thing as your truth. You don't own the truth. There's no my truth. There's no your truth. There's only your version, what you think is true, but not as true. There's only the truth.
Yeah, well, you got two
And
worlds.
calling your truth allows people to lie and make it their truth instead. Your truth allows liars to obfuscate their lies into calling it your truth. So the term your truth is an oxymoron. It's BS. Don't buy into it. There's no such thing as your truth. There's the truth and there's the lie. And you're either in touch with it or you're not.
Well, you see, this is kith and kin to an argument that's been going on for years and years, and that's the argument over whether or not there's such a thing as absolute or relative morality. Okay. And Jordan Peterson, in an interview, basically said, like it or not, there is no basis for an absolute morality. So it ends up being relative.
I would disagree. I would say that it's all on a case-by-case basis. And I would say in most cases, there is absolute morality. However, it's not a world of absolute morality. There are things that when you do, whether you choose A or B, someone's going to feel like you've done the wrong thing. Because sometimes different levels of ethics and morality compete with one another and create a situation where you really can't make a good choice, like any U.S. president will tell you. And so therefore, yes, morality is obfuscated and can be subjective. It's not always
right. So the point is that for any given person, you have to make a decision about which relative morality you're going to live by.
And your morality, that's different than what's the truth, though. You make decisions on what's moral or not based on facts or truths that you can come up with that affect your choice of what's moral and not. So what we're talking about here are events and occurrences that happen, that are chronicled, that are true.
No, I mean, quote, well, I'd say it's true in both of us. Your line of work and my line of work. Yes, you're expected to find information that is truthful, factual. You're supposed to be honest with
right. Use those truths and facts to make decisions that would be moral or amoral. And without those truths, you can't make the right moral decisions a lot of the time, especially in moral decisions that are not so clear cut. They're abstract and they weigh against each other. The facts might help you tip the scale to one side or another of your decision. And that's why being loyal to the facts as they are.
Right. Well, if you were to take a class in morals and ethics, you'll quickly find out that nailing down something that is, what should I say, true or the right perspective can be rather difficult. So I did take a course on morals and ethics a long time
ago. I took one too at Eastern Connecticut State University.
Sorry?
I took a class on morals and ethics at Eastern Connecticut State University as well.
Do you remember what was in it?
A big book called Morals and Ethics that I still have in my box.
Okay. Well, in my case, the professor wanted to limit himself to just one issue for the whole semester. Cosmetics. The morals and ethics of selling cosmetics.
Really? Like hair gel, makeup?
Yes.
Fancy clothes?
So the fundamental point is you have a company offering benefits from a product that may be questionable in terms of whether or not it actually performs as advertised. But what do you have? Customers who want that badly. So somehow it's okay to tell the customer what he wants to hear, even if it isn't true.
Truth in advertising, baby.
Okay, well, that was the heart of the whole thing. And we spent, believe it or not, a whole semester exploring just that one issue.
Sounds like he could have been a little more diverse with his curriculum, in my opinion, but it does sound like an interesting subject, though.
Well, I mean, I would say if you're going to persist in a study of the philosophy of morals and ethics, it makes sense to start with some one thing as sort of a cornerstone, right? And then, yes, then you pick up Aristotle's book on ethics, right? And then you study the other great philosophers of morals and ethics, right?
Confucius, Socrates, Plato.
I think St. Augustine would have been one. Here, let me just, since we got that going here, let me just take a whack at this. The great moral philosophers.
Confucius, Socrates.
Let's see.
I'm forgetting a major one, man. Because of the V, I think.
Okay, I just rattle them off here.
Virgil?
All these guys are considered moral philosophers. How the hell do you like that? Jeez.
Jason Douglas.
Anyway, so Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Immanuel Kant, John Stuart Mill, Nietzsche, Simone de Beauvoir.
Who? What? Where? Dubois?
You don't know her?
Yeah, no, I've heard of her. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know her. No, I've heard of her though.
Yeah. So she was a feminist, existentialist, philosopher sort of person. John Rawls, this theory of justice, which is, I tried reading that stuff. Just a brutal abuse of the English language, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, Martha Nussbaum, Peter Singer, who's the worst. Right. So those are the supposedly great moral philosophers right there. There you go.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for me tonight. How about you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I've got to get ready tomorrow. I got more driving to do, like you.
We're gonna record tomorrow. I'm gonna have to do it. Can you do early afternoon tomorrow? Record? I'm not
going to be back until maybe 6.
Okay, so we may not be able to do it tomorrow. I'm gonna have to see you in 2 days probably, because I definitely have to. I'm gonna be on the road all night tomorrow night. I won't be back home until at least 9:30 or 10. I'll be whipped by then.
Okay.
So maybe if we can squeeze one in the morning, I don't know, I'll call you.
Okay. All right. Later.
Lots to talk about. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night. Good night.
And now, for those of you on Facebook Live,